I was offered an opportunity to listen to one of the most exciting and innovative tube amplifiers from LTA Audio. Boy, was I excited to get these in here. They are the Century monoblocks, and it's an all-tube design based on David Berning's circuit that has some extremely great sounding amplifiers, and LTA Audio works with David Berning. They've incorporated his designs into their products, and a good friend of mine also uses all LTA electronics. And I heard from an audio show organizer that happens to own these speakers, the Prodigio WR1, that the LTA amplifier that he was using, I think it's called the Reference 40, was one of the best sounding amplifiers on these speakers that he's ever heard. So I was extremely excited to get these Century amps in here. And the interesting thing about these amplifiers is there are 3 different settings on the front that you can change while you're playing. And what these 3 different settings do is it changes the amount of feedback in the circuit. And it also changes the output impedance. And this is really wonderful because it lets you customize the amplifiers to your speakers and also to your sound room and what you're looking for. And in the lowest setting, it gives the least amount of overall negative feedback, and it gives kind of a much richer image. The bass is not as controlled, but it's ideal for, I guess, certain types of speakers. And also, I found it fantastic for listening late at night when you want a little bit more bass fullness. The volume is very, very low, and so you're looking for that kind of richness, and they weren't cranked up to hear that they just didn't control the bass quite as well as the other 2 positions. And the medium position is the one that I found most satisfying to me, the best balance. And there was also a high feedback position where the sound became even more controlled. It was a little bit too damped a sound for these particular speakers in this room. And I talked to one person that uses these amplifiers in their highest feedback setting on some sound labs. So it's a really versatile amplifier. And the other interesting thing about this David Berning circuit is that it doesn't have a traditional output transformer. It's not output transformerless like my Atmosphere amplifiers, but the transformer itself is a very different type than typical because it has no core to it. They're much smaller, they're much lighter, they do have a primary and a secondary winding, but it's a low hysteresis amplifier, and supposedly you get hysteresis from the core of the transformer, and the fact that these amplifiers have no core at all means that it is a low hysteresis design, and they've gotten rid of several other forms of distortion that typically you would find in a tube amplifier that has output transformers. So LTA is doing some extremely interesting things. I found these amplifiers to be really, really nice looking, really beautiful, great ergonomically, and as I said, I love the fact that you can switch while you're playing to 3 different positions on the front of the amplifier, from low feedback to medium feedback to high feedback, to really dial in the sound that you like. And I'm also in September supposedly getting in the matching brand new LTA balanced all-tube preamplifier to pair with this incredible Century amplifier. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we're actually going to have a shootout among a lot of various equipment with scoring, and let some golden ear audiophiles come in to see what they think of all this different type of equipment, both tube and solid state, and how they present themselves on the Prodigio WR1 speaker. And if you're in the New York City area and interested in participating in this shootout, drop a comment in the section and we can get in touch. So thanks again for watching, and please consider hitting the subscribe button so that you'll know when I drop more videos about really exciting audio products like the LTA amplifiers, the LTA preamplifier, and the Prodigio Audio WR1 full range electrostatic speaker. Thanks for watching.